powder cream is what you have here. I can't believe this makes sense. Why would you do this? You look like Case.
Oh boy, I cannot wait to read the comments on this video. What's up, Dank homies? Sage here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my verdict on Fortuna. Did Fortuna live up to the hype? Is Fortuna enough sustainable content to keep players in the game, to keep returning players in the game, keep them playing Warframe again, and to keep new players in the game? Now, Fortuna has been out for about a week now, and I've been playing a lot of it. I've done a 12-hour stream of playing nothing but Fortuna and did some other streams for Fortuna and spent a lot of time in Fortuna. I've done tons of mining, I've done tons of animal hunting and bounty doing and point capturing and all kinds of things in Fortuna. I leveled up my Garuda, put Formera into her and made her as good as I can get her to be, and I've pretty much done almost everything that this update has to offer. And I would just like to say thank you to DE for all of your hard work on the amazing update. Looks amazing. All the mechanics are lit AF, if I do say so myself. And K-Drive is pretty cool, you know. I actually have my own K-Drive, named it Sub to MSage, and I have a little sticker on the bottom, and it looks pretty freaking awesome. And keep in mind, I haven't played Warframe for about 2 or 3 weeks before the update itself dropped. And in that time, I was playing other games like Soul Calibur, Binding of Isaac, and so on and so on. So some may call me a returning player. I'm actually doing the quotation things with my fingers in real life. Returning player. So the underlying question is, was Fortuna enough to bring me back to Warframe and keep me in Warframe? Is Fortuna the sustainable content I've been asking for a really long time? No. No. No.
What is it, Peterson?
I'm not sure. I feel a disturbance.
Whoa. Before you start the witch hunt and start writing your 5-page essay in the comment section, just let me explain for a little bit. Before you start calling me out and saying, Meme Sage, you're so ungrateful, the game is free, you shouldn't be complaining. I am grateful for the update. It's a really nice update, but it's not sustainable. There is enough content in the game, including Fortuna, for new players, which new players can join the game and have that content to play. But for those people who are already in the game and have already done the quests and have already done Plains of Eidolon, they don't really have a full reason to go to Fortuna. Let me clarify. They don't have a full reason to stay in Fortuna, and let me fully elaborate. Let's say there's an art scholar who really loves to observe art. And now this art scholar sees a painting of the Mona Lisa. He really loves that painting of the Mona Lisa. He looks at it and he studies it, and it looks amazing and he loves it. But then when he's done looking at it, he moves on. But then later on comes out that the people who own the Mona Lisa have created a larger version of the Mona Lisa and changed up the colors a little bit. That same art scholar goes and sees the painting, likes it, admires it, studies it, but leaves it quicker than he left the previous painting. In my opinion, Fortuna has pretty much the same exact grind as Plains of Eidolon. Even though Fortuna is bigger and has K-Drive, at the end of the day, it's still the same exact thing. And I know this can vary between different players, where some players will be okay with doing Plains of Eidolon all over again, but honestly, I don't want to have to do Plains of Eidolon a second time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll be down to do Plains of Eidolon a second time if it actually led to something meaningful. I mean, currently we cannot fight the crab bosses, which is a big yikes. I mean, on the big release of Fortuna, which everybody has been waiting so long for, the very thing that everything's supposed to lead up to, we can't do it. I mean, it's one thing if we have to grind for something in order to actually do that crab boss fight, but it's another thing when it's completely not even in the game. You know, maybe they need to work out some bugs, maybe we need to give them more time to actually work on it, fine, that's perfectly fine. but right now it's just grind for more grind. I mean, currently this is my normal regimen for daily standing in Fortuna. I go out into Fortuna, or the Orbis Valley, then I go mining. I go mining for about 5 to 10 minutes, then I go right back into Fortuna, I turn in my mining stuff for standing, and I'm done. Oh, and what about K-Drive? Oh, don't worry about that. I can just buy a new K-Drive whenever I want. They're only 52 platinum. Oh, and what about the pet MOAs? Oh, that's easy. I can buy one of those too. MOAs, kit guns, and K-Drives are all fairly cheap for platinum, and you can really buy whatever the heck you want, so you don't have to go out and do all that disgusting grind. But let's say you want to do all that disgusting grind, and you grind, and you build all those things, you get it. Where do you use it? In the same missions you are already doing. And not only are you in the same missions you are already doing, but you're also fighting the same enemies you've been already shooting at. I mean, there's nothing new to really shoot at. Even in Fortuna, all the enemies are copy and paste. Well, besides the miniature spiders. And then at that point you realize, what the heck is the point? The bounties have doo-doo butt levels of rewards, and you get more standing from mining, so all you have to do is mine all day to get your standing, so there's no point in doing bounties. But you do get Garuda from bounties, but the crafting recipe for her is freaking bollocks, because the stuff you have to get in order to actually make her will take you forever to actually get, and it's going to take you at least 3 to 5 days to actually make her, so you're better off just buying her with platinum, because you're going to have a much easier time farming the platinum rather than farming the parts and the stuff to actually make the parts. I mean, god dang, instead of naming it Fortuna, they should have named it Farm Tuna. My point in all this is, I didn't come back for just more farming. I came back for a new experience, and it's not a new experience. The quest for Fortuna was pretty fun, and I'm glad I did that, but after that, I don't feel the point. After that, it's just the same old, no skill, just rinse and repeat, killing everything the same way type of missions. But meme stage, there's that one spider where you have to use your operator. Listen, it's the same thing. Oh, instead of shooting it with your Warframe gun, just shoot it with your operator gun. It's the same thing. A lot of you guys don't like when I make one of these critiquing type videos without providing any solutions. Although I don't believe I should have to provide any solutions, because I'm not a backseat developer. It's not my job to do that. There are people who get paid to think of these kind of things, but I do have a few ideas and a few solutions of my own. There are so many mechanics and so many game modes that have been introduced into Warframe that have just been put into the game and have gone completely untouched. How about let's take a look at Conclave. Conclave in PvP is something that has kept players in games since the beginning of gaming. How about let's make it so that Warframes cannot bullet jump in Conclave. Make it so they can shoot, they can sprint, they can jump, they can wall run, but they can't bullet jump. That alone would make Conclave so much better. As someone who loves playing PvP games, even I know when certain things are a bunch of bullcrap. Take away the bullet jumping, because that much movement in PvP is not necessary. Dedicate an entire team into focusing on the balancing and the perfecting of Conclave. If you perfect Conclave, then you'll have an entirely new player base along with the current player base. And actually advertise it. Did you know that the majority of the player base actually don't know that Conclave even exists? Whenever I'm streaming Warframe and I'm playing Lunaro, I get a bunch of people always asking me, Meme Sage, what is this game mode? Is it brand new? And you know what would be a really huge idea for Conclave? Get this, instead of having Conclave being put in the corner of your ship to where nobody will actually see it, why don't you put it on the map itself? You can call it the Colosseum, Orkin Planet, whatever. Call it the Colosseum, yeah, so then people will click on it and they'll be like, oh, what's the Colosseum? Oh, PvP? Cool, let me try it. How about arbitrations? Those were introduced into the game and then like pretty much nothing was done with it. Arbitration is supposed to be the grand end game of Warframe, but it sure don't feel like it. I mean, why is Fortuna, a node you unlock on Venus, the second planet you unlock in the game, way harder than arbitrations, which is something you have to unlock the entire star chart for? What happened to arbitration armor sets? That was something that was promised to us, but we didn't get it. Now, I know that Railjack is next on the list, but I'm afraid that what if Railjack is where you have to do all this grinding just to do even more grinding? I pray to God that Railjack becomes something that's actually fun. Something like the original raids that Warframe had, where you could run a match with freaking 8 Nezhas, and that's pretty freaking fun because that's creative. You can get creative with it. I hope Railjack is something you can get creative with. If not, then it's just gonna be another Eidolon fight, using the same warframes, doing the same thing, same old rinse and repeat for the same bogus rewards. And for my last suggestion, you know that saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone? I didn't realize how important raids were to Warframe. Before, I didn't do them that often. I still did them, but I didn't do them super often. I miss raids, man. You know why? Because that was the only place you can get arcanes from. Arcanes were worth so much. They were excellent, awesome rewards. Arcane Energize was the biggest reward ever. It was hard to do, and if you learned it right, then you can do it pretty fast with other players. It was fun. You can have 8 players in it. It was great. But they got rid of it. Bring raids back. Bring raids back and give it some extremely awesome, extravagant reward that outbeats arcanes, because now we have so many arcanes that we don't know what to do with them. Now they come from Eidolons and they're just freaking everywhere now. Actually, I have one more suggestion. Bring in some rewards that people don't get a plethora of. Warframe is missing that feel of accomplishment, where you grind so hard, you get the best weapons in the game to do this final big boss, and then you finally get this super rare drop that you've been trying so hard to get, and now you can sell it to another player for a freaking 5 million platinum, or you even use it yourself. In conclusion, Fortuna, like I said, it was a really good update, but it wasn't something that was going to keep me in the game or keep players in the game. And honestly, in about a month's time, I can only see that players will start to leave, just like they have when Plains of Eidolon came out, just like when the Sacrifice Quest came out, and just like every single other update. But that's all I have to say for this video. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, go ahead and like and leave a comment. And if you have anything to say against what I have to say, go ahead and put that in the comment section too. We'll talk this out. But if you haven't subscribed yet, you want to become part of the Dinkum family, to go ahead and do so. And I will see you guys later. Peace and much love.
Don't change, don't change, don't change. Even though life ain't the same. They say don't change, don't change, don't change. Life gon' make it happen anyway. And I say don't change, don't change, don't change. Even though life ain't the same. They say don't change, don't change, don't change.